Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast and happy Friday. Today, OpenAI just opened a self-serve ad platform inside ChatGPT, and it's available to small businesses right now. ChatGPT 5.5 Instant is the new default for every ChatGPT user on the planet. Grok added direct integrations with Google Workspace and Notion this week, and we're going to talk about a bigger trend that AI labs are starting to ship pre-built agents designed for specific industries, and why that matters more than any single model. Hi, I'm Marcus Neto, and I spend most of my time helping small business owners figure out where AI is going to provide the biggest return on their time and money. And that's what this show is all about. If that sounds useful, hit subscribe. Okay, so our first story is this. OpenAI just opened a self-serve ads manager to businesses of all sizes in the US. You can now buy ads inside ChatGPT on a cost per click basis, starting at around $3 to $5 per click with no minimum spend required. 3 months ago, you needed a $50,000 minimum commitment and had to buy on a cost per impression basis. That's enterprise only territory. Now it's self-serve with cost per click bidding, the same basic model most small businesses already know from Google and Meta. Now here's how it works. When someone is chatting with ChatGPT and their conversation touches something relevant to what you sell, your ad surfaces in the response. OpenAI also added pixel-based conversion tracking and conversions API so you can measure what happens after the click. Purchases, leads, signups, whatever you define as a conversion. But I want to be straight with you here. This is beta, and there are real unknowns. We don't have great data yet on how prominent these ads actually are in the response, how users are going to react to them, or how the targeting works in practice. And those are fair questions. But here's why it matters regardless. Hundreds of millions of people are asking ChatGPT buying questions every day. What's the best HVAC company near me? Where should I take my car for an oil change? What's a good accountant? Those queries are happening at scale, and now there's a paid way to show up in those answers. That's huge. Now, if you run a local service business and you've been watching your Google traffic flatten as people shift to AI search, this is the other side of that equation. The distribution is moving and the ad products are following it. The question isn't whether to pay attention, it's when to start testing. Worth watching closely for sure. And I'll be running some tests with clients over the next few weeks and report back. Okay. Now let's talk about what changed for everyone using ChatGPT this week, because there was also a major model update. OpenAI swapped out the default model for all ChatGPT users on Monday. If you've opened ChatGPT at any point this week, you've been talking to GPT-5.5 Instant. Free or paid, it doesn't matter. The headline improvement is accuracy. OpenAI says this model produces 52.5% fewer hallucinated claims than the version it replaced, specifically on higher stakes topics like medicine, law, and finance. The responses are also about 30% shorter, and the tone is more practical, less over-explanation, fewer filler sentences, less of that "great question, let me break this down for you" energy. Kind of handy. It's basically the main reason why I left and went to Claude. For Plus and Pro users, there's a personalization upgrade too. ChatGPT can now search your past conversations, your files, and your Gmail to give you more relevant answers. And it shows you which sources it pulled from, so if something's wrong or outdated, you can correct it directly. For most people, this happens silently. You didn't have to opt in. If you've been running into confident-sounding wrong answers, this is supposed to close that gap meaningfully. And if you've been comparing ChatGPT to other tools recently, as I did and switched, and wondering if it was falling behind, this is OpenAI's answer to that. OpenAI also dropped GPT Real-Time 2. Sorry, that's a mouthful. GPT Real-Time 2 today. A new voice model built on GPT-5 class reasoning. If you built or are using any AI tools that involve voice, like a phone-based customer service or voice bots or anything like that, this one's worth a look. It handles over 70 input languages, which matters if your business serves customers who speak different languages. And they've made real improvements to how it handles complex multi-step requests versus the previous version. Okay, now let's shift to something that happened on the Grok side this week. xAI shipped connectors for Grok this week. Direct integrations with Google Workspace, Notion, SharePoint, OneDrive, GitHub, and Linear. You can now connect Grok to Gmail, Google Drive, Docs, Sheets, Calendar. It can read, draft, edit across all of them in the same conversation. They also added a bring your own MCP. So we've talked about those in the past. They've made this bring your own MCP option for anyone who needs a plugin for a custom tool or internal systems. And I'll be real with you on this too. Grok is not what most small business owners are using day to day. But this move matters more because of what it signals. Claude has Microsoft 365, ChatGPT has memory and file integrations. Now, Grok has Google Workspace. Every major AI platform is making the same bet at the same time. The AI needs to come to where you already work, not the other way around. For us, that's actually good news. As these tools embed inside your apps your team already has open, the switching cost goes to near zero. You don't have to train anyone on a new interface. The AI is just there. If your team lives in Google Workspace and you've been wanting to experiment with Grok, this week is a good time to try it. Okay, one more. And honestly, this one might be one worth watching most closely over the next 6 months. Anthropic this week shipped 10 pre-built agent templates for financial services. Things like pitch builders, earnings reviewers, compliance tools. It's squarely enterprise for now, aimed at banks and asset managers. But the pattern is the story, not the vertical. The labs are moving from here's a model, figure out what to do with it, to here's a ready-to-run agent that does a specific job in your industry. Financial services is first because that's where the large enterprise budgets are. But those templates connect to tools people already use. They ship inside existing platforms, and they're designed to run without a lot of custom setup. Say you run an accounting firm. Right now, getting an AI agent that can pull up your QuickBooks data, cross-reference it with client emails, draft a summary in Word, requires either building that yourself or paying someone to build it. That's the thing that's going away. Pre-built templates for industry-specific workflows are the early version of a library you'll eventually browse and install like any other software. If you want to get super fancy about it, combine one of these agents with tool integrations we talked about earlier in this episode, and you're looking at something that can work across your entire stack without you building a single automation. I don't know exactly when those templates land for contractors, dental practices, restaurants, or other small businesses. Legal seems to be the most obvious next move, but whichever vertical gets there first is going to have a meaningful head start, and I'd start paying attention to what drops in the next 6 months. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. I hope you got something out of this. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really does help out a lot. Till tomorrow, ciao.